think that sometimes the reason why it's so difficult to make change is because we are in the constant belief or in the constant wiring and mindset that once I go in, I go all in. But you don't have to do that.
Claudia Ramirez, empowering you to become the optimal leader of your life. Let's turn on the Mindset Mic.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 30 woohoo, of Mindset Mike, where we're going to talk about discovering balance through mindset moments. Before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking around. Every single time I get to one of these milestones 10, 20, 30, I can't imagine how I'm going to feel when I get to 100. I get very, very excited, but really, I do feel this way every single time I film an episode, every single time I show up for you, every single time I hit publish on a video or I upload to my podcast platforms. I want to say thank you because I do this for you. And the fact that you're still here, the fact that you're sticking around, whether you started with me or you're new, it means the world. And I want to ask you for one favor. I am on a mission to impact as many lives as possible. And for me to be able to do that, growing the audience always helps because it shows me numbers, it shows me stats, it shows me that what I'm doing does make a difference. So I'm going to ask you, if you're watching on YouTube, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already so you don't miss a video. I talk about mindset every single week and look forward to implementing other kinds of videos. It's going to really help you in your resilience, in building confidence, in getting clear on your goals, on having that bestie on the other side who's always cheering you on and always excited to share things with you. And if you're listening on podcast platforms, make sure that you follow and share this episode with somebody who you know likes talking about mindset moments and could maybe use a little bit of balance in their life. Also, complete side note, if you can hear weird voice going on right now, I am totally under the weather. I'm getting over it a little bit. I think that, which is tying into my topic, I have been just hit with a cold because I think it was stress. I haven't been exposed to many people, but I think the stress of moving to New York and just so many things has just caught up to me. So please excuse the voice. I hope it doesn't make you click out. It's not too annoying. I'm going to do my best to keep it as smooth as possible. When it comes to mindset moments and finding balance, first and foremost, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't say balance, I say rhythm, but I know I titled this balance because people talk about balance all the time. And for me, it's more about creating the rhythm because there's never going to be this 50-50, like this work life balance. We would be mad to think about working 50% and life 50%. I think it really should be life the greater percentage and then other things smaller percentages. However, there are times in life when we're building a business, when we're building a podcast, when we're starting a new journey, that perhaps we need to emphasize a little more time there than we normally would because it's now something that is shifting and it's changing. And for me, I like to think of it this way. Let's think about our 5 areas of wellness. And I've talked about these before in the podcast, but I believe that they're so powerful. Again, there's some people who will tell you that there's 7, there's 9, there are 13. For me, I like to keep it simple because 5, I can just count them with one hand. And so think about your intellectual wellness, your spiritual wellness, your social wellness, your emotional wellness, your physical wellness, how that is influencing your life. And I have these moments every now and then where my body just kind of like shakes me and says, "Don't you get it? Like you're burning yourself to the ground." And I think that is because I absolutely love what I do. But I also have failed time and time again since quitting my job at creating that rhythm in my life that is not so focused on work. And if you have ever felt like me, I think that this is going to resonate a lot, at least in the US. There are 2 things that play a factor in my perception of that, or maybe 3, but I'm going to talk about 2 right now. Number 1 is I'm Mexican, and as a Latin American community, you're kind of taught to serve. And I hate to put it this way, and it's not going to be everybody, but you're kind of taught to serve. when people come into your home, or like men come into your home, you serve them first. And it's not always like a rule, but it's something that I talked about in the minority mindset episode a few episodes back, like way back. It's called minority mindset, and how we can leverage that. And I feel like because of that, I'm in the constant wiring of I need to show up and show up and show up, and you work and you prove yourself and you show up and you show loyalty, and right there, you're just always there. And at the same time, it's hurting you because it's not allowing you to build your own an identity. It's making you be the one who's always number two, the one who's there to support and not be supported, and things like that. And also, as a former teacher in the US, I mean, you work to the ground. And at the end of the day, you're as a coach, even, you're making sense on the hour. I remember when I was a cross country coach and track and field coach, I'm going to be super honest with you. I was getting $1,000 extra per sport. So $2,000 in the entire year for working an extra easily 30 hours a week. And it's kind of impactful when you do the math, because you realize, wow, I was really settling, but it wired me to think that that's okay, and that work is everything, and that my work defines me, and that my results define me. And so then we go into our life in general. For me, I quit my job, and I am in the mindset of you work until you are on a stage with 25,000 people. And I don't say that to myself, but I believe that my mind is in that setting. And so it's a matter of rewiring and listening to what we need. I have been guilty of neglecting my social wellness, my physical wellness, my emotional wellness, my intellectual wellness in the past, in the pursuit of showing up for the job. And this isn't meant to be a work episode, a work life balance episode. It's about discovering rhythm in mindset moments. So let's talk about what those mindset moments can be. For me, I told myself on my birthday back in October, I said, I'm not going to work on the weekends, and I'm just not going to work on the weekends. And have I not worked on the weekends every single weekend? Absolutely not. I have failed at that task, or that, you know, I guess, um, personal goal that I gave myself. And so now I am making myself be super conscious of this, and I make myself work from Monday through Friday, or sometimes Monday through Thursday. And if you didn't finish something, you're going to have to essentially, quote unquote, pay the price on Monday, because you're going to have to start the week doing what you didn't finish. So for instance, for me, what takes the most time in my work are not my client calls, but my client calls are smooth sailing. What takes the most time is the podcast, from the recording to the editing to the, because I don't do just audio. If I only did audio, that would be very, very simple, and I could just knock them out. But because I choose to do video and audio, of course, you have to edit. But then it's so much work that goes into it. So I make all these micro clips, and I add captions, and I mean, yes, captions. And so all these things. And so it takes so much time, and it's a full-time job within itself. I want you to know that, like, when you commit to something, it can be a full-time job within itself until you hire a team, or you have other people to support you. And so I share this with you because I've had to force myself to create this work life rhythm. And I think about, okay, I have a personal development schedule, personal development area in my calendar. And every week I tell myself, what do I have to do for the podcast? What do I have to do for my clients? What do I have to do for my, website, for the business, the LLC? What do I have to do for this one? And then there's one for personal development. And this personal development could include meeting up with my friends, or going on my daily runs, or doing my high intensity workouts, or not working, or watching Friends, and things like that. And so I incorporate these things, or like, like reading, and all these beautiful things. And so I want you to think about what could that personal development look like in your life and how can you implement it starting now, not waiting for the next burnout, not waiting for anything critical. For me, listen, burnout is, I think I should make a whole topic about this, but burnout has, I am not a sickly person. I am not a hospital goer or a doctor goer. And actually, I think I have a pretty holistic life overall. But ever since quitting my job, I have had to go to the hospital twice in absolute burnout because my body isn't like just reacting and like in ways that I'm like, this is it. Like, this is my last day. Like, today is how I die kind of pain. And so it's been wake up calls. And now I have become very, very aware and conscious of this. And I implement mindset moments. For instance, right now with this move to New York, I move in today's Thursday as I'm recording this. I move on Sunday and I have been doing a lot from packing to podcast to client work to saying bye to friends and everything in between. And it has been a lot. And so for me, I start getting a little nervous about it. And so we were at a pub yesterday having um a lunch with a friend and her baby, and it was so nice. Got to meet up and everything, and before she got there we were talking about New York. And we were talking about this and that, and I started getting really nervous, and I could just feel like my breath just shorten, and I could just feel like butterflies in my stomach, but kind of excited, kind of nervous. I need to stop talking about this right now. And I had to remind myself, remember, you're going to New York because you're going to grow what you do. You're going to New York because we have dreams that we want to accomplish. And New York is the place for this, for you right now. And I'm like, oh my God, long distance and this and that. And I don't know anybody in the city and the subway. And like, it's just ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. Like the things that will normally stop us. But I'm like, okay, one of my favorite things that I like to do is write down why I'm doing this. And I have it, I'm very visual. So this kind of helps me chill out, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to New York for this, and that. It could cause this, and that in me, like that fear or anxiety or, not anxiety, but, uncertainty. And that's still okay because remember, you're going there because of this. And so it's those mindset moments that I give myself to calm down, which we could relate this to a video on stress or a video on burnout or a video on many things that I think is very helpful. The moment where your eyes are burning when you're looking at the computer and you can't even keep them open anymore because you've been sitting down for so long and you've been working yourself to the ground. That is your cue to stop and go. Because let me tell you, I feel like there's so many things that we show up for that we make ourselves show up. And if we didn't show up the next day, it wouldn't matter. Like, I know that if I were to burn out and be gone from this world tomorrow, it wouldn't matter that you don't have an episode the following Monday. Do you see what I mean? And it's a tough reality. And so it's one of those selfish moments where I'm going to say, be selfish and put yourself first. Be selfish and get yourself in the closet, get yourself locked up in a room, get yourself out of the house, wherever you need to do, out of the office in that moment to take a breath. And I look back in my life and I realize that it's those moments where I took a step back from a workout, where I took a step back from the workplace, where I took a step back from filming, or call after call after call after call that I thought I needed to do that actually helped me show up when I came back. Whether that break was 5 minutes or whether that break was 2 years. See what I mean? And it's important because you have to develop the self awareness and you develop this idea of what do I need and showing up for yourself and detaching yourself from any expectations or outcomes and just putting yourself first. So I want to encourage you to implement these mindset moments. Whenever you feel uneasy, why do I feel uneasy? And what is it that I'm doing and why is this going to help me? When you feel like something isn't for you, journal about it. When you feel like a situation is just not feeling aligned and you feel uncomfortable, detach from it, walk away. Put yourself first, time and time again. And you're going to see that it's going to reap better benefits in the future. And I think it's absolutely important that we look at it this way because now we are shifting the mindset and we're creating this beautiful rhythm in I like to visualize it this way. Visualize it. Visualize. I like to visualize it this way. Envision it. You have the 5 areas of wellness and think of them like dancing together, holding hands. And they're dancing, and some go in and some go out, and they move left and they move right. And when you do that, sometimes you give more to your personal growth, as in the intellectual growth, the thing that you put in to grow and learn about a business or to grow in your lot in your work or something like that. And then you take a step back. And then now you know it's time to focus on your fitness and you develop that and you take a step back. And then you know that it's time to work on your emotional well being and you take a step for that. And then you move back. So what happens is that that in could be one day, that in could last for years. It can stay there once you build habits. But notice that it takes time for you to put yourself in there and take a step back. Implement it in your life, fuel, nurture. Say, I hear you, body. I hear you, life. I'm here to support you in this way right now. And then take a step back. And I think that sometimes the reason why it's so difficult to make change is because we are in the constant belief or in the constant wiring and mindset that once I go in, I go all in. But you don't have to do that. You can go in and take a step back, right? You can try something out and get what you can from it and take a step back. I had a coach who used to always say, um, he used to say, you as high intensity runners, we were running about 60 miles a week at one point, 100 kilometers. You can eat a bag of chips every single day and it wouldn't matter because your body's going to take what it needs. It's going to use what it needs and it's going to dispose the rest because you're working, you're putting in the effort, you're putting in the work. If you ate that bag of chips every single day and you sat on the couch, that would be a problem. So, when you just throw something into your life that's new and you're in constant growth, your body's going to take what it needs, reject what it doesn't, and move on. This happens with nutrition, with fitness, with what you learn, with who you associate with, and all the things. So I want to encourage you to look at it that way. My life is going to take what it needs. It's going to dispose the rest, but I need to continue being in motion and implementing this growth and implementing these mindset moments for my mindset to shift into this constant growth. And that's what I want to talk to you about of what this can look like and what this can feel like. And frankly, these next few episodes, I just want to chat with you. I want to chat with you. I have all these episodes planned out, and as in like I don't like the structure. What you know that when I talk to you, I talk to you, and it doesn't matter if I'm going to give you a one, two, three of something. It comes from the heart, and I'm sharing it for a reason. But I just want to talk to you right now and just have these episodes that are unstructured and I know are going to help you. I have the title and I know where I want to take this and I know what I want to share. But I'm curious to know if this would be something that you're more inclined to listen to and to have with you in those moments when you're cooking or when you're commuting or when you're doing what you do. Also, I am right now super excited to share with you that I am in the process of creating a free course. I am launching it pretty soon. It is called Mindset Shift Blueprint, and I am putting a lot into it. It's going to be a three-part series that you're going to get access to immediately. It's going to be free and it's going to help you in your mindset. If you want to get access to this, if you want to get the immediate notification when it's available, make sure that you sign up for Mindset Minutes. It is my weekly newsletter. You will get one email a week with mindset coaching, mini coaching, what I like to call. I usually tie in a little more about the podcast, deeper insights that perhaps I didn't share on the episode. Beyond the podcast, I share codes and just personal stories and what's going on in my day to day and how that applies to mindset, how it applies to you. And we just grow together in that week after week. It's a very short newsletter, by the way. I like to keep it short where you can just read through it and just move on with your day because ain't nobody got time for long newsletters. I know I don't. And so I don't think you should be reading a life story either. As always, you know that I love you. I'm cheering you on. I believe in you. Keep being the optimal leader of your life, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, which, by the way, is going to be, let me tell you, I have it here, and I need to open it. I'm seeing double because this cold is getting to me. Okay, we're going to talk about conquering self doubt with confidence, which I could also just really, really use. It's near and dear to my heart right now. Let's just talk about that. So I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye bye.